All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited that you're here and you're watching. And today I'm going to talk about letting go of the luggage of life, right? How to unpack the baggage and lighten your load so you can feel alive again. And here we are. Winter's here. It's chilly. I'm a little hot here in Arizona, but I've got the heat on, I got the air on, all kinds. And I just wanted to talk about something that's been near and dear to me, and it's been coming up with a lot of people who I work with. Now, I specialize in helping people overcome pain and trauma, and it's usually the trauma that further leads to pain and having us have a hard time getting out of pain. But what I'm seeing is there's so many limiting beliefs that you are holding on to that you don't even know that you're holding on to. And this becomes a problem because you might come to me for knee pain, right? And that knee hurts and it's scary. And then one thought leads to another, and then you catastrophize and it's, I'm dying. But it could be that the doctor you went to said something to you or maybe violated you and you didn't get to complete a trauma response, which is a fight, a flight, or flee, or sometimes we freeze and then we can't move forward. That freeze is, I'm a couch potato, I give up, I'm not gonna live my life. That's what happens. So I want you to ask yourself, what baggage am I carrying? And maybe you don't even feel like you're carrying any baggage. And if so, how much baggage are you carrying? Is it so much luggage that you can fill an entire airplane or at least a really big semi truck with all the bad things and the traumas that happen to you in life? You see, our belief systems start when we're very young. We model our parents, whether they're there for us or they're not. There are people who move quicker through pain than others. And it really does depend on our upbringing. If we had the trauma, were we safe? Was there a support system around us? And I'm talking a trauma could be you slipped on ice and you hit your tailbone, and now you're 55 and you really hurt. And it's exacerbated by, this is a big one, being in a challenging marriage, right? Marriage, it takes work. And we're hurting and we're in pain, and then we can use that pain to get out of participating in the relationship, right? And I say this because I see it all the time with the clients that I work with, you know? So let's just say we carry around these suitcases. It's the luggage of life. And these suitcases are full of limiting beliefs that we're dragging around behind us, right? All the things that are in this suitcase are things we've learned from our parents, our mothers, our fathers, our siblings, our grandparents, our coaches, our teachers in grade school. You know, I admit I am a perfectionist because I went to a Catholic school. I went to a Catholic school and I felt like I had to be perfect. And there were rules and good grades and we had to be perfect. It was so exhausting. And it carries over into my life. And I just get so exhausted because it's like literally wired in me. And we have many parts of us. It's like an internal family system, right? We've got our strong, positive self that's an overcomer. We've got those attributes that we love about ourselves, but we also have those not so great parts about us. And we stuff it. And sometimes those parts that we're not absolutely in love with, those darker sides of us, they tend to be really, really strong. And then you throw in stress, you throw in emotional pain, you throw in physical pain, and it just clouds and it takes over. And then we leave our body and we're in our heads and we're in fear and we're in worry and we're not moving forward with our lives. So in this suitcase, right? What is in your suitcase? What are you carrying? Yeah, it's from our parents, our mothers, our fathers, our teachers, our grandparents. And what I want you to do is think about what those limiting beliefs are. Grab them. They're in that bag. It's a heavy bag. It's dragging behind you. And right now, let's just pick one. It could be your beliefs about money. It could be your beliefs about relationships, about your health, about your spirituality. These fears that are holding you back with these limiting beliefs, let's unpack them. Let's take it out And you've identified the parent, the teacher, the person that gave it to you. And I want you to hand it back to them. I want you to hand it back. Give it back to them. You don't have to hold on to it anymore, right? We want to recognize those beliefs and give it back, lighten the load. But first, we have to recognize where these beliefs came from, and then we can let it go, right? Give it back to your mother. Give it back to your father. Give it back to your grandparents. You've been holding on to it for too long. And just say, that's not mine. That's not me. I don't want them anymore. I'm free. The past was the past. But on your healing journey, you can let go of them. You can let go of them. But we have to look at, do I have to people please? I can't say no. This was a big one this week. And I tell you what, for clients, so I work intensely with them for 3 to 6 months, right? And sometimes you would think, okay, I'm paying good money for this. I'm getting coaching. I want to move through it. But yet these limiting beliefs, this baggage is so strong, you can't take a step forward. So some people I've been working with for 2 months, and it takes 2 months to finally get to that step I talk to them about, I coach them through, that we did in the first week or two. So there are these limiting beliefs. I can't say no to my parents. I have to help them out. I have to go there every day this week. And then you give and you give and you give to everybody else. And you roll out of bed in dread, and you're hurting and you're hurting. And finally you hurt so bad that you're shut down and you're in bed. So what are the belief systems that are not serving you, that are driving you every day? And what can you look at in the category that I teach is what's not working in your life? What could you look at? What can you change? And it's having the courage to make those changes. It's having the courage to say no to them and yes to you, because I want to help you get out of pain. I want to help you feel good. But when we have these desires on the inside, I have these desires, and we don't have it on the outside. And our actions and our behaviors keep us, meaning I want to lose weight, and you don't go to the gym. You don't go to physical therapy to exercise. You don't go on that walk. It's that self-sabotage. What is that limiting belief that's stopping you from actually being a leader of your life and your health, right? Be a 10, not a 5. Be a 10 as a leader and move forward and lead yourself. And at first, it starts by getting out of here and going in. But we can't always do it ourselves. And that's that co-regulation piece. You might not have heard about it, right? A parent nurtures their baby. They love them and protect them and keep them safe. And we grow up and we become independent. But depending on circumstances, traumas, injuries, hurts in life, sometimes we have a really hard time soothing ourselves. And that's where addiction could come in. It could be Netflix binging, drinking wine every night. You know, it could be over shopping. It could be an addiction to keep trying different health treatments over and over again and being busy and using that as an excuse to really focus on, say, losing weight and going to the gym and exercising, for example. Those are the things that I'm talking about, right? So I want to lose weight. Well, what are you doing? Are you hitting the snooze button every morning? You've set the alarm. That is a commitment to yourself. I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. That is my commitment. I'm excited. I'm going to do this. I commit. I set that alarm. And the morning comes. And we hit snooze once and twice. And then you're like an hour in bed. And that's not being a leader and showing up in your life for yourself. So we've got to uncover what these limiting beliefs are. And I'll leave it at that. They're so hidden. They're so subconscious. But where are you sabotaging? Where are you saying yes when you mean no? And then if we take a look at what areas we're having pain in, and we dig one layer and another layer and another layer, then things start to uncover, right? I have a client who had back surgery. Should have been an easy recovery. But the doctor said I had to go in and I had to clean up the junk. And this person said, what? He didn't ask my permission to clean up the junk. And now I'm hurting and my recovery is harder. And the physical therapist says they haven't seen this before. And my back hurts and it's swollen and it's worse than before the surgery. And the doctor didn't ask me permission to go in and do more than what he said he was going to do, right? So that's a person that they didn't have a say. They were taken advantage of. They didn't get to fight back. But then there's another layer, and I'm not going to get into details, of a time in her life where someone else bulldozed her and didn't look at what she wanted, didn't listen to what she wanted. So there's a pattern here. So what we did, we paused, we get her to go inside and really get in touch with that anger against the doctor. Medical trauma is real. I woke up from a coma and someone said to me, don't get out of bed or you'll have a spinal cord injury. Freeze. That was captured in my body for 8 years until I worked with a mentor of mine, Peter Levine, who trained me. And my back pain went down 80% when I got in touch with that memory. So if your knee is hurting, if your back is hurting, if your shoulder is hurting, we need to go back and look at all those things in your life. I consider that part of the baggage piece, right? Little by little, they just start to add up in the layers. And I tell you this, the body remembers. And then we move on, but we need to really deal with, at the time of the injury, at the time of the trauma, the event, the upset, the hurt, what is the belief system behind that? What needs to be completed, right? And that's huge. So we can look at whatever situation you might be having a hard time with. And I want you to take that out of the baggage, out of the luggage, and give it back to whoever put it in your life. You don't have to accept it. You can have just a nice, neat, little, perfect carry-on with little wheels with ease to walk through life with. Travel light. Ah, great. But first we have to pause and we have to go in. We have to stop the busy. We have to stop saying yes when we mean no. We have to stop being overly busy, going from this store to that store to this store to that store, this practitioner to that practitioner, and over and over and over and over and over again. We really have to look, and I'm telling you, with all of you here, with everyone I have a call with, I treat, I work with, there are layers upon layers upon layers. So what's not working in your life? What's not working? Right? And I want you to tell yourself, if it's pain, and I mean, it doesn't have to be complete disability pain. It could be physical pain. It can be emotional pain. A lot of times partners and spouses cause pain. But that's because you're not necessarily honoring you and having the courage to speak up for you. And we learn from our parents and we model our parents, and we have all these habits, these patterns and behaviors. And then our brain gets wired to the uncomfortable, the not so great, I'll never get better. And that's a big limiting belief in it. It's really challenging. And I tell my clients, how can I help you? How can I help you when you don't believe that you can get better? Because you've tried everything. Maybe there is a hidden gain in your pain. Maybe you can get out of having sex and being intimate with your partner. Maybe you can get out of doing the housework because your back hurts. You know, I dig deep when I work with people, and that's what we start finding out. But when you say no, when you mean no, then there's this load that lifts off of you. A load that lifts off of you. Right? And we all have different parts of us inside, right? And some are these not so great parts that we love about ourselves, and they're dark. They're that dark side. So just for a minute, I want you to say hi to them. You can even close your eyes, go in and feel this dark part of yourself. But at the same time, I want you to tune into that amazing person that you are, that you know, that is an overcomer, that has achieved things, right? And the first part is recognizing the behavior that's keeping you stuck, right? You have so much to offer the world. You just need to believe it. You have so much to offer yourself. Anything you want can be yours. And I was one of those who was really in pain not too long ago. It was about 4 years ago. And I would sit every morning with a sense of dread, crying, journaling. I mean, I can even share, I have my my affirmations, right? And I have a new one that I wrote. I haven't put it in here yet, but I have a vision for myself and I have a vision for my life. And it started with I wanted to be in San Diego. And I never believed I can't live there. It's expensive there. I have a business. How am I going to do it? Well, I hired a coach and I built an online business so I can work from anywhere. And I made it. I made it to San Diego, a place I dreamed of. I drew, I visualized, and then I realized I didn't like it there. But I had the experience. I had to prove it to myself, but it made me appreciate, oh my gosh, so much of where I am right now, and I love it. I love my home in Arizona. And I used to drive and I'd look at the mountains close to my home, and there was a sense of dread. There was. And I hated where I lived. And like, if you are in a situation that you don't like and you can't stand and you're just triggered every time. And again, it does take you starting to tune in. What are my triggers? What are my triggers? But now when I look at the mountains, I'm so grateful. I'm so happy to be here. So you have to trust the process of life, but you have to get in touch with you and you have to take those things out of the baggage. You got to get rid of the luggage. You want to carry a nice, easy carry on with great smooth wheels that glide and start living your life. Because when you do the things your heart desires, when you say the things you want to say, when you stand up for yourself, that's when you free yourself up. The inside, your desires, your heart has to match the outside. And that's what I want for you, because we have all these visions and we have all these dreams, and this is mine. And again, I'm still working on what that next vision is, and we can set goals for ourselves. And yeah, I want to get out of back pain so I can drive and go on long road trips with my husband, right? It starts with that, but can you think bigger? I want to get out of back pain. I'm going to be completely rid of back pain so I can begin exercising again, so I can go to yoga, so I can go hike up a mountain. Whatever your vision is, I want you to get in touch with your vision of yourself and don't just settle. Don't just settle. You know, and this is like very life coachy, but I treat the whole person. I see the whole person. And often we're so stuck in our misery or our pain or our problem or our anger at somebody. And it really, if we had the courage to change it, we could. And you know what's on the other side of that is freedom. Freedom, like the weight lifts off of you. You unpack the luggage. Freedom, right? Yeah, really good. So my affirmation here says, I generate the energy, excitement, and possibility to show up in my vision. I am committed to my vision, and your vision might be that I am going to go start exercising and I'm going to go hiking and enjoy the beautiful weather. I'm going to do all those things that I say I'm going to do. And it can just start with one thing. But where are you self-sabotaging? Where are you not doing it, right? So I know that my expectation is to be excellent in everything I do. So I make a goal and I want to be good at it. I don't just want to hit the snooze button, because that's not going to get me towards excellence. Whatever excellence is for you, that excellence is having a peace of mind because you're honoring yourself and you say no because you mean no. You're going to honor yourself, because if you're depressed, if you're anxious, you're having physical pain and you're just a robot, and you just keep hitting the snooze on your life and you keep saying yes and helping everybody else, because then if you are quiet and you're really with yourself, all this stuff comes up and it's even more painful, right? So what is your vision and what do you have to offer to your family, to yourself, to your life, to your community, right? Because what if Steve Jobs held back and had all these limiting beliefs, right? We wouldn't have Apple computers of the world. Right? And I want you to stop playing small with your health, right? Stop playing small with your life and releasing your potential. Like, just let it out there, right? Because how about actually doing what you say you're going to do? Because that's where the peace comes from, right? And you have that ability to access greatness. And you might even not know that you have it because you've been struggling so much. You've been struggling. But it doesn't have to be that you're continuing to struggle. It doesn't have to be hard. When I woke up from my coma and they said, you have a brain injury, Well, I knew what that meant because I used to treat people who had a brain injury, and sometimes it's a lifelong vegetative state. It's can't function, can't work, can't even shower yourself, can't take care of yourself, and the sense of dread that happened when I found out. But there was this fire in me, this fire that said, I'm not going to accept that. So, what can you stand for yourself, for your family today, and stop accepting? We want to unpack these limiting beliefs, and I don't know what that is for you. I don't have enough money. I'll never be able to get my stomach feeling better. I'll never be able to bend over and pick something up off the floor. I'll never be able to drive that 5-hour trip. I can't fly anywhere. I can't go anywhere. I can't really leave my house. I need help with everything. But I want you to, just like I did when I had this, I woke up and I was in a full body brace. I was confused. It was cloudy. And I had this fire in me that said, I'm not going to accept this. So what are your blind spots, right? Because that's what I do is I help people see their blind spots, because honestly, they have no clue to how disconnected they are. They're out of their body, settling for less, all the unconscious things that are underneath their pain, your pain, and it because the pain of life, right? We need to uncover your blind spots. So put in the chat, what are those? What are they for you? What is stopping you? I'm happy to answer any of your questions, right? Because we've got to just start playing the game of life. We can't be carrying all this baggage behind us. We've got to not live in fear, not waiting for the other shoe to drop. Do you know what I mean? One thing after another, and I call them curveballs, these curveballs. I'm keep dodging these curveballs, right? When am I going to get a break? And it does start with just pausing, right? And it starts within you, and it starts with awareness and shining the light on, right? Making the right decisions towards the direction you want to go. Eating healthy, eating enough food so you're not hypoglycemic and you're hungry and you're in the grocery store and you buy all the chocolate and all the potato chips, and you go to the restaurant and you eat the bread and you eat the desserts because you didn't take care of yourself. I want to lose weight. I want to feel better. I want to start eating healthy so I'm not tired all the time, right? Make those decisions and hold strong to them. Be resilient. Take on the challenge, right? And how would a leader make a choice, right? Not from survival, not from fear, but from doing the things they say they're going to do and leading an extraordinary life. And for you, that might be that the night before you pick 1, 2, or 3 things that you're going to accomplish. You write them down, you wake up, you've got your list right there, and you do them. And you start saying no to people, and you start avoiding and stop avoiding, and you stop being too busy, and you really just get a hold of it. Because when we're quiet, sometimes our dark side will come up, but if we just listen, it just starts to flow. Is this resonating at all with you? So I just want you to know you have the power, just like I had the power. I'm no different than you. And I might look absolutely healthy here and, oh, she's got it all going for her. But let me tell you, I have my challenges. And it wasn't till just recently, and you might have seen my email about this amazing gut program. It's an 8-week course that I worked with Dr. Grace Liu. And I've struggled with depression and this like anxiety and this dark side of me. And I don't have that anymore. I took 3 different supplements and some probiotics, and my gut healed, and I feel great. And I didn't know that this was stopping me. I'd watch summits, I'd hear about all this gut stuff, and I was like, what is all this gut stuff? And it was just packaged for me in this little 8-week course with everything I needed. And I feel great now, and I can handle it. But it's looking at what's not working in your life. What do you need to fix? And finding the resources. And I'm like the resource queen. So if you want, you can put it in the chat, and I can help you find the resources you need. You can work with me if you'd like. You can email me, reply to any of my emails. I get them, and see if I can make those suggestions. Because I want to tell you, you don't have to hit the snooze button. You have a choice, right? And just keep listening to your body right now. What is it telling you? You don't have to stick with the pain, right? The pain is, oh, what's not working in your life? We got to explore and release past traumas. We've got to rewire your brain. It doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be that stressful. Then we have to look at how you're moving. If you're a secretary and you've sat that way for 30 days and your back hurts, well, all those muscles in the front of your body are tight and we've got to get them freed up. You just don't know that yet. And then you have to eat right and get those behaviors so you don't self-sabotage with the food, right? Eating a nice, strong, healthy breakfast, eating in a close enough time that you're not so hungry that you can't resist all those unhealthy foods, because those are just gonna, boom, self-sabotage, right? So we just gotta keep up that momentum. So again, what are those limiting beliefs? What are you holding on to? Who gave them to you? Open up that suitcase. When did it start? At what age? Is there a memory? Is there a memory that you can see when someone said something to you? And I have to take care of my mother. And my mother always worried about money and scarcity. And I just have to work so hard now, and I'm never going to have enough. And I don't believe I can have enough. You know, these are some of the things that my clients are having to deal with. And then I show up and they're great. After the call, they have a few great days. And then those beliefs that someone taught them back when, that are deeply in us from all the traumas, hurts, injuries, etc., come up, and then they don't make the changes. So I say, when I mentor people, when I coach you, I show up and then you have to show up. And first you have to believe that you can get better. And heck, if I can get better, I know you can, no matter what. We can find the right practitioner, the right doctor, the right therapist to treatment for you. It's there. But first you got to believe it. So look at those beliefs that are all in this heavy baggage that might be carrying you around. And it's the holiday season right now, and there's a lot of holiday parties and Christmas parties and office parties and church parties. But you know what? If you don't want to go, and the idea of it's stressing you out, and you have a headache and a migraine's coming on and your neck and shoulders are so tense. Ready? Practice this. No. No. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to justify. You don't have an excuse. Everyone's worried about themselves. They're not going to be worried if you're not there. You're going to be worried that you're not there, and you're going to create this whole song and dance and story and clenching up and tighten up and be so upset. But you can say no. Because when you say no, when you're scared and you don't want to say no, but when you do and you honor yourself, oh my gosh, freedom. You get to take care of yourself. Because if you're not taking care of yourself and you're helping everybody else, that's when you really hurt and have a lot of pain. So I hope that was helpful for you. And I'm going to just see if you guys have any questions. There's a chat box there or a Q&A box, and you can put some questions in there. Was this helpful? And sometimes it's really hard to do it alone, but I know you can do it. I know you can do it. But first, it's like really going back and looking at those memories, those moments, those people, and think about what those belief systems are. Hit the pause button, hit the erase button, hit the delete. Unpack that bag and give it back to them. And just take baby steps. Just baby steps. If you're going to the gym, just go outside and go for a walk. If it's cold and snowy and icy, just keep walking around your house. Go to the mall, walk inside the mall. Just get out and move. And it becomes that point where you have a decision to make. I'm going to keep going or I'm going to stop. Maybe you can just go just a little more. Just a little more. Because wouldn't that feel good that you at least tried? Instead, oh, I'm just going to lay on the couch and there's a new show and oh, there's 8 seasons of it and 23 episodes each season. I'm just going to escape. That's a drug. That's avoidant. And I want you to be successful.